Alright, so we're in the parking lot. I'm gonna walk not very far to the door. I'm gonna give you a little story while we walk up there. So, I used to obviously frequent the city. I used to live in the city. And there's an establishment up here that is in the building of my office. Now, I'll tell you that we worked out of a spare bedroom to start, and then I worked out of a storage space because I needed the room, but I didn't have any money still. I mean, I still don't have any money, but you see where I'm getting at. Then things were going just steady enough to where I really still couldn't afford to move out of that storage unit, but I did anyway because we had no internet, no electricity, and Home Depot magnet lights on the wall so we could see. Nevertheless, we're in this office space now. Very nice comparatively. Now, this establishment I'm about to show you, I'm not going to put the name out there, but for those of you in town, if you know, you fucking definitely know. I used to frequent this place and just, I mean, I would be here all night. Hey, how you doing? And into the early morning. And this is a bar here that we used to do drugs and get drunk and fucking stay here all night. Now, if you would have told me that at the time I was frequenting this place that I would own a sober apparel company and our headquarters would be above it, my head would have exploded. Literally, my head would have exploded. I probably would have punched you right in the face for no reason other than I had 2 brain cells. Now, I don't know if that's irony. Is that irony? It's ironic. I'm not sure that somehow, you know, like 15 years later, I have an office space in this building above the place where I frequented my drug and alcohol abuse. Not to mention all the fights. Oh my God. I don't know if that's irony, but I just figured I'd share that story. I don't know if anybody cares to know, but that's what we're doing. I suppose if you don't, then you'll not be watching at this point. We've arrived. Cut. Now, I'll just preface with that bar, in the event the owner sees this video, which I highly doubt, that is not the same establishment. It's the building, but totally different name. In fact, it's been a different place multiple times since the instances I'm referring to. So I don't know anything about that place now. I'm sure it's cool, and the people who own it now, I'm sure, run it per regulation. But yeah, I gotta get one of those tripods that turns with you if I'm gonna do this the way I should, so that you all can see what I'm doing. I don't know why you'd want to watch, but I guess I hope you do. I don't know. I'm really new to YouTube, and I think people want to see what people are doing. I don't know if anybody would want to see what I'm doing, but you know, I'll keep telling some stories, and people want to follow along with our journey, then that would be dope. You know, that's all I got. That ain't much either. I think I got everything out of my backpack. Took my medicine. Yeah, let's hang it up. Always hang it up here just because there was a screw here already, so it works out, I suppose. Put this computer charger in. I use a laptop and a monitor, and I use hotspot internet because it's way cheaper than trying to pay for internet service. And it's just as fast. Not faster, probably, to be honest. These curtains were here when I got this place. Actually, this building was just recently purchased when I got in it, and they gave me this spot probably mostly out of pity, because truthfully, if it was an established building already, it would be a lot more expensive, I imagine, than what I pay for it. But yeah, we're grateful for that. I mean, what the fuck, you know? We were in a storage unit, so this is the Taj Mahal. And even if we had the money, we wouldn't be in some swanky place. We would be putting it into a facility that we could hire people coming out of recovery or in halfway houses or whatever to good jobs. That's the goal. Along with the other donating that we do on a regular basis. I gotta turn my hotspot on here. So I've been on a few podcasts for people who are new to Sober Strong, which is probably everyone on this platform. They kind of go over my story to the best of my recollection. But I can give you another synopsis. Yeah, I was abusing drugs and alcohol for a long time, 10 years, more than 10 years really. When I was 18, I moved in to the city, and it was a split house down the middle. The neighbor was a coke dealer. My roommates were older than me. I had a very addictive personality, and yeah, you could see how you probably connect the dots there. So recreational turned into everyday, and now I'm fast forwarding through quite a bit, and we'll make more videos. And if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm no expert in recovery, I can tell you that for sure. I'm not a recovery coach, and I don't give recovery advice beyond my own experience. And again, that might not work for you either. But I spent many years in active addiction, and when I finally got clean and sober, I had left a working natural gas pipeline because that's what I had did for the majority of my young adult life, and that enabled me. So I left that industry, sold my truck one night in a drunken fit of rage, really. I sold everything because I knew I had to get rid of it. It had to go. I didn't have a plan of what I was going to do. I'm 34 now. Sober strong wasn't a thing. It wasn't even on my horizon. In fact, I was still drinking and using. But I sold it all because I knew it was the first step in commitment to myself. And I had tried before multiple times to get clean and sober, and it worked maybe for a little while, but ultimately would fail. With no plan, no structure, that seems to happen. I know that's probably hard for people to believe. We're jumping around a bit. So I get clean and sober February 1st, 2023. I start teaching part-time, and I'm in therapy, and withdrawal is really bad for 6 months. Terrible. Withdrawal depression. I'm just holding on like most people are in early recovery. I get hit by a drunk driver on my way home from work one night. And I don't know if I've talked about this on here yet, but if I have, it's a recap for you. You may ask yourself, how do you know it was a drunk driver, and how do you know anything about the person if it was a hit and run? That would be an excellent question, so let me tell you. I was sitting at a stoplight, and the person that hit me never stopped. The last time I looked in my rearview mirror, there was nobody on this road. So it's late. I've worked all day into the night now, teaching people how to weld, and it's just a quiet ride home. So I'm looking ahead, just sitting there, and all of a sudden, bam! Now this person totaled my car, mind you. It wasn't like a fender bender. But even if it was a fender bender, it still could hurt somebody, certainly. Especially when they're not expecting it. So this person slams into me, maybe doing like 50 miles an hour, 45, something like that. In an automatic vehicle, so small SUV, it was a Compass, a Jeep Compass. I loved that vehicle. It was paid for, and I kept it really clean, and it was a 2011, I think, but it was plenty good enough for me, especially in this time in my life where I was trying to rebuild the foundation. So this person was driving a large SUV. Hit me high on the vehicle. Anyway, I roll off to the side. This person rolls in behind me, stops, gets out. It was a woman, and a small child also gets out of the car. I assume to be her daughter. Maybe like 8, 10 years old, but what the hell would I know? I have no idea about kids' ages and guesstimating them, but probably somewhere. She could speak fine. So she wasn't a toddler, but she wasn't a teenager either. Anyway, this girl's crying, her eyes out, and this lady's like, do you need help, or whatever she said. And I didn't know where my phone was. My car was smashed in. And I was like, yeah, can you call for an ambulance at a fire department? Like, I think I'm injured. And she didn't want to call. She was not about that idea. She thought she was just going to be like, oh, here's my insurance. I know I just totaled your vehicle. But also she was under the influence, I assume, of something. So you're not thinking rationally anyway. So I screamed at her. I was like, fucking call that ambulance right now. I don't know. I'm not asking anymore. I'm telling. Because this lady just smashed into me. I think I'm hurt. I asked her to call an ambulance and she's like, no. So that pissed me off. I'm already in a panic, so to speak. And I'm already in panic in general in my life because I'm in early recovery. I'm anxious through the roof, and I know people can relate to that. I'm not on medication at this point to control that kind of stuff, anxiety, depression, withdrawal. So she says, yeah, I'll call. I got a call from my daughter. I'll call. So she goes back to her vehicle, which I don't even know what the condition of her vehicle was, because this is at 9 at night, 9:30 now at this point, and there's no lights on the street. And all I can see is headlights behind me because she's behind me. So I have no idea. It must have been in rough shape, the front end, for sure. Nevertheless, the next thing I hear is the tires squealing. In reverse, whips back out into the main road. Gone. I find my phone, call for help for me, and obviously to report that some person with a small child just totaled me. I mean, I didn't know the vehicle was totaled at the time. I haven't gotten out of the car yet, but just totaled me and took off. So the result of that is I have to get spinal fusion surgery, which I do. ALIF, anterior lumbar interbody fusion. So I need something to hold on to at this point. And Sober Strong started because it was a selfish act. I needed something for me to hold on to. I wasn't sitting around thinking, I'll start this sobriety apparel brand and make it a business, and, it was for me to play. Sober Strong was an idea for clothes for me to wear, and that's what I did. I was teaching myself how to, and I've never even considered working in apparel to this point. I just needed something to do in recovery, and early recovery from substance abuse, and now recovery from my accident. So it entertained me and it made me feel good. It was new, it was exciting, it was free. YouTube, right? That's how I taught myself how to do most things. Not that I'm any good at anything, but so I was just making designs or learning how to do like very basic, like copy and paste, erase, remove background, like change the color of something. And it was fun. And I said, I'll put this on some, I'll print some for myself and I'll just wear this stuff because I like it. I think it's cool. And it was helping me through recovery in both aspects. So the more as it developed, as it grew, people were like, "Oh, that's cool," you know. And I would keep shirts in my car, the new car I got eventually, and just a box of them. If I had like 18 shirts made, right, and I would just, because I learned that even at a local, the smallest print shop you can find, you can't just print. Well, I take that back. I did, the first thing I ever printed was on one thing, but yeah, you basically have to print on at least like 18 or 20 shirts when you go to a print shop. So I would keep them in my trunk, and if somebody liked it, I would be like, "Are you in recovery?" Whatever. Have a shirt. And then we made an online presence, but we hadn't launched it yet. So I'm thinking like, all right, if people like this, maybe we can do something with this. So I started making more shirts and sweatshirts and like playing around with how you actually manufacture a item of clothing and what goes into that. And I don't know where I'm going with this story. There is an ending. Basically, the company went live April 18th, and I was like, if other people are into this, maybe it could help them like it's helping me, and why not offer it to people, make it a community. It only will serve me in my recovery to serve other people, right? So we opened up with it, and we had a really good response, and we had a huge community built. Now I'm fast tracking like way into almost recent times here. Basically, that's, I don't know, that's one version of, I mean, that is the version of, that's the story. There's some parts I'm missing, I'm sure, but that's kind of how Sober Strong came to life. Now it's a company. It's still just me. I mean, there's been other people to help, and then we have like ambassadors, and it's not just me. It's us, but some people have thought like this is a big corporation. I mean, I worked really hard to make our social media look professional, and so some people thought we were just like a big corporation with like, you know, there's like teams of people. It's like, no, there's not. I wish there was. And those teams of people were people in recovery, working for the company. I wish that was the case. It's not. It's not right now. Shit, the company barely exists right now. We're existing by the skin of our teeth. Barely that. I digress. So it's still just me in this office and my friend Nick, who helped me get this thing off the ground by carrying totes for me and just being there as a friend and helping inventory early product and just, yeah. And my desk is a folding table. Everything in here is a folding table or a tote, literally. So yeah, I don't know. Ask me questions if you want. I'll answer them. I hope you enjoyed this really long-winded video. But if you don't have anything going on, what the hell? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you can go to the website, soberstrongapparel.com, and support us, and by us, I mean me, supporting me to help people in recovery, because a portion of that sale goes to like keeping the lights on in a place where we can store product, because we have everything on hand. We don't drop ship. I pack it up and send it to you because I want it to mean something more than just drop shipping random shit from somewhere. And then a portion of that sale goes to recovery facilities. And you might be asking yourself, which ones? Well, they rotate. And we had all that information posted because we're transparent about everything. It was all posted up on Instagram, which no longer exists, but I'm working to get that. I mean, I lost all that content, but I'm working to find it in my phone and computer and putting it back together and finding a place for it that makes sense on the website. But regardless, we've donated to East House, Blue Waters Recovery Foundation. We've donated to Mindset Recovery. We've donated to who else? I can't remember. We only started April 18th. We're donating quarterly, so our next donation's coming up. Maybe that was it so far. Nevertheless, if you can go to the website and make one purchase, I promise you it'll be the highest quality gear that you've bought, and for the price, we're not. Some people have commented when we launched this thing early, like, yeah, right, I'm not paying that for a t-shirt. They probably got it made for $1. Where are t-shirts being made for $1? I don't care what the quality of the shirt is. You send me their information. If they're selling t-shirts for $1, send me the info. We don't pay $1 for a t-shirt. We pay fair market value plus probably 20%. So yeah, it would mean the world to me if you could go and to soberstrongapparel.com and pick something up. It helps this community, and that's what I want. I want to help people. It serves me to serve other people, and I just discovered that it was all part of the plan, the greater plan. It was just unbeknownst to me. So all right, I'm done done rambling on. Until next time, peace out. I love you guys. Thank you.